You can't patent a river. You can't copyright a sunset. But thanks to synthetic biology, a compliant US patent office, and a startup with billion-dollar backing, you can now legally own a genome and every living thing that carries it. You can resurrect an animal, tweak its DNA, and then slap a private claim on the entire species. Welcome to the Bio-Wild West, where extinct creatures are coming back not to roam the earth, but to serve as proprietary assets in a corporate bio portfolio. This isn't about life, it's about leverage. Colossal Biosciences didn't just revive the dire wolf, they built a legal trap door beneath the natural world, and they're already walking through it. Let's start with the basics. Under US patent law, living organisms can be patented so long as they've been engineered by human hands. This began with Diamond versus Chakrabarty in 1980, when the Supreme Court ruled that a genetically modified oil-eating bacterium was patentable. The phrase used was clear and prophetic: anything under the sun that is made by man. From that point forward, life ceased to be sacred. It became inventable. By 1988, Harvard had patented the oncomouse, a genetically altered rodent designed to develop cancer, making it the first patented animal. But here's the catch: naturally occurring DNA is off limits, at least in theory. In the 2013 Myriad Genetics case, the Supreme Court ruled that isolating natural genes isn't enough. You have to modify them, you have to leave fingerprints, which is exactly what Colossal is doing. Colossal's de-extinction strategy is a legal gold mine. The dire wolf genome they reconstructed, not patentable, but the 20 precise edits they made to gray wolf DNA? Now we're in composition of matter territory. That means the edited DNA is a human invention, and the animal carrying it, Romulus Remus Khaleesi, is a walking embodiment of IP, and it doesn't stop there. Colossal has already filed patents covering the gene variants themselves, the methods to insert them, and the assisted reproduction tech used to birth them. Their woolly mammoth patent, filed in 2021, covers CRISPR-based insertion of mammoth genes into elephant cells, followed by cloning. Then came filings for laser-assisted in vitro fertilization and proprietary cryopreservation media. They're not just resurrecting life, they're patenting the petri dish it's made in, the embryo it becomes, the womb it grows in, and the genes that define it. This isn't biotechnology. This is a land grab, and the blueprints are already public. Patent application W40A2 claims the mammoth-specific alleles and the method for editing and cloning them. Another filing, W8838, claims Colossal's laser-assisted IVF method. A third, W9671, locks down their cryo formulas. These aren't fringe tools. They're core infrastructure for synthetic life. Any competitor trying to resurrect a mammoth, dire wolf, dodo, or thylacine using similar methods could be hit with a patent lawsuit. Colossal doesn't just want to be first, they want to be exclusive, and if they succeed, no one else will be able to create these creatures without paying for the privilege. Patent by patent, edit by edit. Colossal is turning public bioheritage into proprietary code. But they didn't build this empire from scratch. They built it on your dime. The core technologies, multiplex gene editing, stem cell manipulation, artificial womb research, were developed in George Church's Harvard lab, largely with federal funding. Harvard, through its tech transfer office, licensed those technologies to Colossal in an exclusive deal. And buried in that agreement is the line that should chill you: excludes human use. That clause isn't a guardrail. It's a marker. It means Harvard sees exactly how dangerous this tech is. It's a legal way of saying, we'll let you own animals, but not people. Yet. And what exactly does Colossal now own? With those licenses and filings in hand, they control not just the method of resurrection, but the result. They own the genome edits. They own the pipeline. And if someone else creates a similar animal, patent infringement. Under US law, even slight modifications can form the basis of sweeping claims. Monsanto did it with seeds. DuPont did it with the oncomouse. Colossal is doing it with creatures. Edit a wolf's DNA at 20 loci, and suddenly, every animal with that configuration is your property. This is the loophole, tweak just enough, and the law treats life like software. You don't need to create a whole new species, you just need to change a few lines of code, and if that edited wolf has pups, you still own them. In patent law, reproducing a patented organism without permission is infringement. Courts have ruled that even natural reproduction doesn't exempt you. Monsanto famously sued farmers whose fields were contaminated by patented crops through wind pollination. The court sided with the patent holder. Now apply that to wildlife. If Colossal's dire wolves reproduce in a rewilded reserve, or worse, escape into the ecosystem, Colossal could, in theory, claim IP rights over their offspring. These animals wouldn't be part of the commons, they'd be part of a biologically enforced license agreement. Of course, enforcing those rights would be a nightmare, but that doesn't mean they wouldn't try. Companies have sued over less. And the legal ambiguity, the gray zone around wild-born descendants of patented creatures, gives Colossal leverage. Even if courts eventually rule that wild offspring aren't protected, the chilling effect is real. Researchers, conservationists, even governments may avoid touching Colossal's creations without legal clearance. This isn't about controlling wolves. It's about controlling who gets to use them. And here's the punchline. The public has no idea this is happening. All they saw were 3 wolf pups and some slick headlines. But while the world was ogling white fur and mythic names, Colossal was quietly building a portfolio of resurrection patents that could turn the entire concept of species into a branded commodity. They're not bringing back animals, they're building franchises. The dire wolf was the pilot episode. The mammoth, the dodo, and the thylacine are the next season. And every animal that comes after could be tagged with a legal fingerprint that says, property of Colossal. What happens when you try to protect an ecosystem using a patented animal? What happens when a wildlife reserve wants to reintroduce species but has to negotiate a license to do it? We're talking about privatizing conservation, turning rewilding into a subscription service. If you want a mammoth to terraform tundra, better talk to Colossal. If you want a genetically edited elephant without ivory, same deal. Control the code, control the conservation. And yes, the academics are sounding the alarm. Legal scholars have already noted that first-generation engineered animals can be patented, but their wild-born descendants might not. That hasn't stopped companies from trying to assert those rights. Ethicists warn this could create wildlife franchises, ecosystems legally tethered to private actors. A genetically edited animal isn't just a creature, it's a contract with legs. And once you let one into the wild, you've imported intellectual property into nature. Colossal's patent fortress is built on tiny edits, but it reaches into massive territory. A 0.5% genomic change becomes a 100% ownership claim. That's how biotech works. They're not copying life, they're cloning power. They don't need to own nature, just the tools to remake it. And where did those tools come from? Your taxes and NIH grants, DARPA programs, university labs, public money developed this technology. Then Harvard licensed it. Now Colossal holds it. And while they rake in investor cash and lock down patents, the public, the original funders, gets nothing. No dividends, no royalties, no say. Just another extinction reversed into a revenue stream. Let's be clear. This isn't just about wolves or mammoths. It's about precedent. If you can own the genome of a de-extinct animal, what else can you own? Can you own ecosystems built from those animals? Can you own traits that cross into other species? Can you own future descendants? Can you own people? Right now, Colossal's Harvard license bars them from using these tools on humans. But that clause is a paper wall. The moment it becomes profitable or geopolitically advantageous, someone will breach it. The line between animal only and human ready tech is thinner than ever, and the legal framework already exists. The dire wolf isn't just a mascot, it's a proof of concept, not for resurrection, but for control. And in the next article, we'll follow that control back to its source, the ideology behind it. The worldview that says life should be engineered, owned, ranked, and optimized. The dream of the perfect genome. The resurrection of an ancient predator wasn't the beginning. It was the continuation of a much older story, one that never really went extinct.